You cannot be pro-Black and part of the LGBTQ community. Now, when I first seen it, I believe my response to this was, that's real, but they're going to be mad as hell because, they're going to be mad as hell at her. I did a live talking about being B1, okay? Now, there's a difference technically between being B1 and pro-Black, at least in my opinion. But in that video, I talked about how you cannot be pro-LGBT and be pro-B1. Be pro-Black or be B1. And I'm going to stand on that, okay? Now, this sister says you can't be LGBT, you can't be pro-Black and be part of the LGBT community. I don't know if I can agree with that. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, it's that's why I said that's real, but I can't say I always agree with that. Only because our people have been programmed, have been indoctrinated with and assimilated into a culture that is not ours. A lot of us are sexually confused, even if you are not LGBT, even if you don't label yourself as LGBT, you might have some other sort of sexual confusion or sexual trauma you have been through, okay? Because that is damn near number one on the white supremacist priority list, is to sexually confuse you. If they can sexually confuse you, they can pretty much confuse everything else around you. I say that to say I empathize with some of the LGBTQ Black people, conscious Black people, especially because it's usually a psychological thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's programming. Say for you weren't raised in like a pro-Black household necessarily. You know what I'm saying? But you did have you went through some sort of sexual trauma, whatever the case may be, sexual confusion. And now you do identify as LGBT, okay? But maybe it's not that big of a deal to you. Maybe it's like, especially if you're a woman, maybe it's like you're bi, like I'm saying, like you like girls, you da-da-da-da, but you don't necessarily think it's sexual confusion. You don't necessarily see the problem in it. Then you run into a video of Dr. Frances Cress Wilson. Somebody send you a video of her. Somebody send you the ISIS papers. Then you might get into Hidden Colors. You get into Tariq. What I'm saying is you start your path, your journey of consciousness, okay? On this journey of consciousness, you're learning how this ain't your goddamn culture, okay? LGBT has been used, or sexual confusion has been used on our community to keep us dysfunctional and separated from each other and to depopulate us, you know what I'm saying, our community and the world in general. But this is definitely not ours. You know, you're starting to see the wrongness in what you're doing, okay? Now at that point, you've already kind of acquired some tools to be pro-Black. Maybe you started volunteering. Maybe you start a YouTube channel. You start speaking some truth to power. But you still got this itch for women because before you were bi. Now you feel like you got some contempt about it. You're kind of conscious now. So you're like, damn, I shouldn't have been doing this. Anybody tell me this is wrong? I thought this was just some fake ass Christian stuff. My grandma was telling me that I had demons in me and shit. Like, I thought this was, I didn't know this was this deep. You know, I didn't realize how serious it was to be with a Black man, or how serious it was, how politicized, and how much really goes into being with someone else. Appreciate that Cash App. Like, maybe you didn't realize that. Like, that's how I'm thinking about it. About the innocent Black person who is on that path of consciousness, who does want to be pro-Black, but has been caught up in the net of sexual white supremacist confusion. Okay? That's where I'm looking at it from. Like, I'm like, that brother or sister is still actively trying to be pro-Black. They still wanting the best for Black people and trying to contribute to our progression, but they got this itch. They got this eye. They like this. They prefer this in the bedroom, you know? And it's going to be hard to break. Just because you wake up does not mean one day you just able to stop some shit. Just because you wake up and find out that the veil lifted over your eyes, that this ain't our culture and this is really to depopulate us and this is really to keep us dysfunctional and away from each other and things of that nature, doesn't mean that you just one day stop having a sexual urge to be with a woman. Doesn't mean that you could choose not to. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do believe that. You could still not be a lesbian. You could choose not to be gay, even with that urge there. You could choose not to. But it would be a little bit harder, okay? Especially if you don't have therapy or people around you who genuinely see the problems in your behaviors and kind of call to you, or on some liberal shit where they're like, oh, well, why does it matter? Gender's a spectrum and sexuality is this and you can be, and they don't see the seriousness in you being LGBT and being a Black man or being a Black person, especially a Black man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like from that perspective, I don't want to say that you can't be LGBT and be pro-Black, okay? Because I understand a lot of us have been programmed and indoctrinated into sexual confusion, all right? Sadly but surely, all right? Even before, you got a lot of, hey, look, it's been rumors, all right, about some people from Black leaders from back then, okay? Even ones that was all you got one like James Baldwin is one that comes to mind. I think he was a gay man, right? James Baldwin, Black dude, but he was pro-Black, okay? So I mean, we're gonna have our issues. Some of us are still gonna have some sexual confusion. Like this is generational problems. All of us ain't gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but if you can meet at certain lines, if you can be LGBT and still be able to speak truth about LGBT, still be able to say this is not my culture. I know I really shouldn't be da-da-da-da. If you really want to progress the Black family, progress Black people, you should be with the Black man. If you're still willing and able to speak that truth to power, at least I can give you some leeway. At least I can give you a little bit of leeway. We can align on that part. All right. At least we can meet there. But if you're pro-LGBT and pro-Black, we can't meet there because we automatically don't align on the foundation of what pro-Blackness is. Pro-Blackness and pro-LGBTness is literal opposites. Like they cannot live in the same space. Pro-LGBT means pro-sexual confusion. Means pro-sexual exploration outside of the traditional nuclear Black family, which is the literal key to our progression. So if you talk about anything outside of getting with a Black man and a Black woman and creating more Black children, you are going against the grain. You're going against what exactly we need to progress. That's a problem. So you can be pro-LGBT and be a heterosexual. You can be a heterosexual and be on a little liberal and talking about, yeah, I'm pro-LGBT. Sexualities or what you call it. I mean, I'm straight, but I think black guys should be able to be with who they want, and you should be with who you want. You want that, I can't meet you there. We can't meet there. We can't meet there. But if you know that you're sexually confused, if you've been indoctrinated through the system of white supremacy and you still just a victim of white supremacy trying to heal, trying to unlearn and relearn, you on a journey, you trying to get there, you done a lot, but you're trying to get there, you trying to get back to your original, your higher self, you trying to, I can fuck with you. We can meet. That's who we can meet at. It's kind of similar to my point where I was saying about divestors. Like I can't, if you're a Black woman who may have dated out, but you're trying to date back in, you ain't fucking white boys no more. That was your last white man. You're not done with him. I mean, you're done with him. You start to get on some conscious. You start your conscious journey, and now you're starting to see the importance of getting with a Black man. I can meet you there. We can meet there. You trying to save yourself. You LGBT, but you can't rock with pro-LGBT. You trying to save yourself. You're trying at least. Even if you're not trying to save yourself, you're at least trying to help the next Black person beside you to let them know, look, I'm doing this, but here's the reasons why you shouldn't be doing it. Like, I'm doing this because of these reasons. And these are the exact reasons why you shouldn't be doing it. I can rock with that.
We do not play by our creed. You fuck with the team. Might find your West in the creek. We crossing our T's. We don't never miss a beat.